Try naman natin itong problem na to, investment in associates. So, medyo mahaba to. Tuloy-tuloy kasi yung problem. So, medyo masasagasaan niya yung mga situations, no? Or scenarios sa investment in associates. Okay, let's start. So, on January 1, 2024, this Maya company purchased 10% of the outstanding ordinary shares of DPYH Company's 100,000 shares for 1.6 million, which was accounted for under cost method. And on January 1, 2025, this Maya acquired additional 30,000 shares, gaining significant influence over DPYH. The fair value per share at the date was 190. This Maya acquired the additional shares for 6 million. Okay. So dito, step acquisition yung nangyari, no? So from 10% naging 40% kasi may additional 30% daw siya. So unang gagawin natin, i-account muna natin yung fair value change nung existing share niya, no? So that's 10%, which is 10,000 kasi 100,000 shares times 10%. That's 10,000 shares acquired or held. Multiply natin ng 190. And that's 1.9. 1.9 million. Magkano puhunan niya? 1.6 million. So meron siyang gain na 300,000 dito, no? Ito na yung magiging carrying amount yan, no? New carrying amount. Ngayon, i-account naman natin yung bagong bili niya. So, that is 6 million, ano? Idadagdag natin siya actually, yung 1.9 million na fair value na nung 10%. Tapos, acquisition cost, 6 million. Okay. That's a total of 7.9 million. So, ito na yung parang kung sa business combination, yung consideration transferred mo, i-compare mo dun sa na-acquire mong assets. Tingnan natin. Magkano ang assets? 15 million. So, that's like saying 15 million multiplied by 40% total na, di ba? So, 6 million. Tama ba? $15 million times 0.4. All right. So 6 million. 6 million lang. 7.9. May difference na 1.9. No? 1 point... wait lang. Ilagay natin. 6 million fair value of net assets acquired. May difference na 1.9. Okay. So, sa business.com, pagtingin mo, parang goodwill na siya, no? Pero tingnan natin yung additional details. DPYH net assets in its book was 15 million. 15 million yan guys Kulang lang ng isang zero. Anyway, reflecting all its assets at its fair values except from land, building, and inventory which exceeds their carrying amount as shown below. Alright, so land daw, kung kukunin natin, i-compare kasi natin yung usually ginagawa ko dito, hinahati ko to Dito goodwill, dito yung excess. Yung tinatawag nilang excess over fair value. Una, i-allocate mo muna sa excess kung may susobra, goodwill, kung merong naman, difference naman sa magiging GBP naman. Depende. Kung wala naman matitira dito tapos sobra-sobra yung nilagay sa excess, then that will be GBP or gain on bargain purchase. So, kunin natin yung 40% of 1 million dun sa land muna, no? Land. Dito, building. Ito yung inventory. Okay? So, 1 million. Dito yan, guys. Bakit mo tatlo? So, 1 million times 0.4, that's 400. Alright. 25 times 0.4, that's 1 million. 500 times 0.4, that's 200,000. Okay, kung i-total mo yan, tingnan natin kung sapat ba yung 19. Kaya mo na lang 19 minus 400 minus 1 million minus 200,000. May 300,000 pa tayong pwedeng ilagay dito sa goodwill, guys. So, that's a total of 1.9. So, ganyan. So, minsan wala ito. Minsan, wala siyang goodwill talaga. Minsan, ito naman, let's say 500,000 to, edi kulang pa rin, 1.9. So, yan, kunwari 500,000 yan, saktuan lang. So, walang goodwill. Alright, sorry, nabura lahat. So, kung ganun, wala siyang goodwill. Ngayon naman, let's say for example na 600,000 ito. Kunwari 600, so 1 point, that's 2 million, no? So, walang goodwill, pero merong excess na 100,000. So, ang tawag dito, GBP. Yung GBP na yan, guys, magiging part siya ng net income or profit and loss sa year of acquisition. So, minsan nami-miss out yan Pero dapat isasama mo siya sa P&L on the year of acquisition. So, ingat ka doon. Okay, balik ko lang. Again, magkano to kanina? 500,000 times 0.4, that's 200. And then 300 dito, Okay. So, almost clean. Medyo forward na tayo. So, may nasagutan na tayo dito. How much is the goodwill na? 300,000. How much is the share in net income? Okay. Ngayon, okay na, mag-move forward tayo kasi sa December tayo. Account tayo sa December. Kasi December 2025 yung tinatanong niya. Nag-declare ang investee ng 5 million na net income. So from that, we'll have to figure out yung mga magiging adjustment natin. Because merong mga undervalued na assets dito, so may kinalaman yon sa pagbabalue natin ng kung magkano share net income natin. So let's start. That's 5 million. I-adjust muna natin yung net income nyo. Usually, yung iba, ginagawa nila, kinukuha na nila agad yung portion nila from 5 million, yung 40% yan, and then from there, nag-a-adjust na sila. Well, I prefer na ina-adjust ko muna yung net income ni associate, tapos saka ko kukunin yung portion na mapupunta sa atin. Alright, so Again, 5 million. Ano yung mga adjustment natin? Yung depreciation ng land, sorry, ng building, no? Yung land hindi naman nagde-depreciate yun, so let's not worry about that now until it gets disposed. Tingnan mo natin, remain unsold during the year by the end of the year, okay? Okay. So wala namang minention na nabenta yung lupa, no? Because if that happens, then magre-recognize tayo ng um, realized gain. Okay, for now, dito muna tayo. So, building, nag-depreciate sila. The reason we're adjusting this is because nung nag-depreciate kasi sila, kulang yung din-depreciate nila. Imbes na, let's just say, 4 million. Imbes na 4 million, 1.5 million. Kasi 2.5 daw yung building ng ano eh, undervalued siya ng 2.5 eh. So let's just say, kaya na lang natin. Let's just say, 10 million, pero ang nasa books nila is 7.5 lang. So kapag nagde-depreciate sila, kulang, always kulang. That would make your that their net income overstated, no? So, yun yung reason kaya bakit natin ina-adjust. So, with that, let's divide it by the useful life. Ano ba useful life na sinabi ng building? That's 10 years, no? So, that's 2.5. Again, wala na tayong pakialam dun sa part na na-depreciate na or right naman, di ba? We're only concerned about yung undervaluation. So, that's 2.5 divided by 10. So that is 250,000. Again, it's a reduction kasi nga kulang yung din-depreciate nila. That's why overstated yung net income nila. It's 250,000. Another is 1/4 of the inventory remain unsold during the year. Okay. So ang concern natin dito is yung nabenta na portion, no? So yung nabenta na portion, ibig sabihin, yung beginning inventory noon kulang din, tapos yung ending inventory niya kulang din. So, nag-o-offset, parehas kulang. So, ibig sabihin, it will still be a reduction kasi nga, yung cost of goods sold nila, kulang pa rin ang na-apply nila. Okay. So, pakita ko lang, no? For example, how much is this? Magkano ba? 500,000. Oh. Let's just say, imagine tayo ng mga numbers, no? Let's say, pwede ba to? Let's start with maybe 200. Ito kunwari yung sa kanila ha, yung sa kanila. I-apply lang natin 200. Let's say 300 yung purchases, and let's say maybe 400. Okay, yung ending inventory. So EI purchases beginning, okay? And then you get your costs, right? So magkano yan? So 200 plus 300 plus minus 400. That's 100 cost of goods sold. Yan yung in-apply nila. Okay? Pakita ko lang ha. So since kulang yung ina-apply nila doon sa inventory na yon, let's say i-correct natin. That would mean na magpa-plus ka dito ng 500,000, di ba? 500K. Magpa-plus ka dito ng 500K din. Tama? Okay. So, that's 7,500 as mali. Magkano ba yan? 700K. Okay. Now, 300K. Dun sa portion, sinabi niya, di ba, na in-apply natin 1/4 of the NDE and remain unsold. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, magkano yung 1/4 yan? 500. Tama ba? Divided by 4. Okay, 125,000 yung unsold. So nandyan. So 125,000 plus 400. So parang ganun yung nangyari, no? Magkano yan? So 525. Okay. So 700 plus 300 minus 525, 475. Ganyan yung nangyari. Okay? So plus ka dito. It's like saying, kasi nandun sa beginning niya, nandun din dapat yan sa ending. Tama? So, the effect in cost of goods sold is mas mababa yung in-apply nila. That's why i-deduct natin siya. So, 475 minus 100. Parang mali yata ako. Well, anyway, i-compute nga muna natin dito. Let's see. 525 remain in the ending amount. 500. 125 yung naiwan. Plus 400. Okay, parang ganun. Well, this is just to show the difference, no? Na this is not the exact amounts, pero this is just to show the difference between the application ng cost of goods sold dito sa ano. Wait lang, 2 plus 700, 300, 525. Wait, 700 plus 300 minus 525 or 75 minus 100. 375. Tama, 375. So that's a 375 na difference, no? Na kailangan natin i-deduct sa from the net income of the investee. So ganun yung mangyayari. So buburahin ko na to, ha? Okay. So it's like saying, simply saying na i-divide lang natin yung 500,000 sa 1 into ano, or multiply natin sa 1/4 times 1 over 4. So 125. No, this is the ending. This is the ending part pala. So sorry, minus 500,000. We're, like I mentioned, we're concerned about the sold goods, no? Like yung pinakita ko kanina, that's 375. So we will deduct that because it's the COGS effect kasi. So overstated yung net income nila, we reduce 370. This is for the inventory. This is for the under depreciation. Okay. Next, what else? Land, we don't have any problem with that. So I think we're good. Wait lang. Can we double check if there's any? Oh, sorry. The land was sold. Actually, the land was sold. The land was sold to an unrelated party at a gain of 400,000. Yung 400,000, guys, that's not, hindi na natin concern yun sa share of the investee, no? Wait a minute. The land was sold to an unrelated. It's part of the net income. That's fine. Yung 400,000, that's part of the net income or other income kung it was recorded as other income sa gain ng company. That's fine. Nandito na yan sa loob ng 5 million. Now, yung concern natin is yung 1 million na undervaluation. So, ibig sabihin, kung nabenta man nila yan ng, let's just say, 9 million, for example, no? Yung gain nila, sobra-sobra yung ginawa nilang gain. Why? Let's illustrate again, no? Since undervalued siya, ang recording nila 8 million, for example, no? 8 million. Nasa books yan, di ba? Supposedly 9 million siya kasi kulang undervalued ng ano ng 1 million eh. Wait lang, guys. Alright. So 9 million. Ngayon, nung binenta nila, let's say, nagkaroon daw ng gain na na 400. So, binenta nila ng, kano, 84, no? 84. So, that resulted to gain. Kaso, 9 million pala siya. So, binenta nila ng 8.4. See that? Meron siyang, talo pa nga eh. Talo pa nga. Now, to apply that, yung net income nila na in-apply nila to, di ba? So, to offset that, ibabawas natin sa net income nila ng 1 million to effectively show na magiging loss, mababawasan yung income na eto actually kulang, magkakaroon pa sila ng loss eventually, so that's like 600 loss. So if this is 400k, for example, 400,000 may nag-gain, di ba? So 400 minus 1 million, that's a 600 loss, di ba? So ganun yung effect. So see, supposedly there's a 600 loss. That's 9 million minus 8.4. That's a 600 loss, di ba? So again, it's like saying mag-minus ka dito ng 1 million. That's the same thing. You will also uh, come up with a loss na 1 million, di ba? Ay na 600,000, di ba? So, yun yung effect. That's the reason why ginagawa natin, nire-reduce natin. I might have mentioned a realized gain earlier. I'm sorry about that. Anyway, we adjust. We basically adjust the income of the associate. All right. So there you go. I think we're good. This is for the land. 5 million minus 250,000 minus 375,000 minus 1 million. Okay, that's 3375. This is the adjusted income in our perspective. So, there. Multiplied by yung share natin na 40%. Okay. That's 1,350, no? I think there's a question. How much is the share in net income? This is the one, no? This is the one. So there you go. How much is the total amount to be reported in P&L December 31, 2025? Okay. So, ito yung, nandito yung other choices, no? Ito yung madalas na nagiging problema natin, no? Minsan nalilimutan natin na, just nakita natin, parehas lang to. Pero hindi natin napansin na meron din pala tayong gain doon, di ba? This is a fair value adjustment, no? Or remeasurement. So this is also a gain that will that will have an impact on the P&L. By the way, na-mention dito na accounted for under cost method, no? Kung napapansin niyo yan. Whether cost method or fair value yung measurement niya on before the acquisition of the additional shares na nagkaroon na siya ng equity method, reclassification kasi siya. So you have to apply the fair value adjustment as well. Kasi para ma-account mo siya. Kasi without doing that, ma-undervalue mo. Kasi kung 1.6 million lang idadagdag mo dun sa 6 million na acquisition mo, kulang. Di ba? Parang hindi mo in-honor yung pag-adjust ng fair value at the time. Yung pag-grant from January 1, 2024 hanggang December 30, 2024. So, ayun yun. Alright. So, again, do not forget na meron tayo ditong fair value adjustment, which is 300,000. This one. Oops. Okay, this one. So that's 300,000. Dadagdag natin dito. If, for example, na meron pang GBP dito, which in this case wala naman, pero just in case na meron, idadagdag mo pa yan dyan. Okay? Do not forget, malimit na nagiging issue natin yan eh. Nami-miss yung tinitignan natin. Minsan mga choices meron pa rito. Pare-pares lang, tapos nagulat tayo. Merong napalabas natin yung sagot, nagulat tayo, sinaidan natin. Lalo na pag may time pressure, no? So there you go. So this is fair value adjustment. This is the share in net income. NI na lang. Okay. So I think we're good. 1,650. All right, so this one is 1,650. So let's scroll down. Hope we're okay here. Tinatanong ba tayo? Yan. How much is the carrying amount of the investment? I hope you did ano na, screenshot na guys kasi hindi na makikita yung problem. Yung screenshot na lang. All right. So how much is the carrying amount of the investment? So there. So we start off with yung carrying amount initially, yung updated, that would be this one, 7.9. It's inclusive of the adjustment ng previously held, no? So that's 7.9. Scored ko lang dito. Oops. 7.9 beginning carrying amount beginning. So plus yung 1,650. No, sorry. Na-count na natin yung 300 dito, no? Yeah. So that's 1,350 share in net income. And we have to account for the dividend also, no? As you've noticed, merong 1 million dito. That's 400,000 reduction. You already know this kasi that's for investment in associates. It's always a reduction. Equity method. So dividend. 79 plus 1,350 minus 400. That's 8,850. That is the updated carrying amount. 8,850 million. Okay. 8.850 million. Okay. This is the updated let's just say carrying amount for 2025. So there. Okay. Let's move on to the next. So, kung papansin mo, nasagasaan niya na yung step acquisition, meron pang undervaluation, excess, ito yung tinatawag nilang amortization of excess dito. Or, yeah, including your under depreciation inventory. So, tatandaan mo guys, meron pang 1/4 ng inventory na natira. Wala na tayong problema dun sa land na account na natin. Yung depreciation will continue, no? As long as nasa useful life, 10 years pa siya, nandun pa tayo, may significant influence pa tayo, it will continue. Okay? So yung inventory, meron pang natirang 1/4 doon. Don't disregard that. So the following year, daw, sabi, the rest of the undervalued inventory were sold to third party. No? Okay, so we're good with that. Additionally, well, if it mentions about any gain, it will form part of the gain. So let's not worry about that. We're only concerned about dun sa undervaluation. Okay? So the following year, okay, nabenta na daw. Additionally, DPYH sold the machinery to Dismaya for 1.4 million. The transaction resulted to a gain of 400,000. The remaining life of the machine was 4 years. During the same year, Dismaya also purchased inventory amounting to 900,000, of which had cost of 600,000. So there was a gain of 300,000 there. 1/3 of the inventories remain unsold by the end of 2026. DPYH reported net income of 6 million and declared dividends of 1.5 million. The share of DPYH were selling for 250 per share at the time. Okay, so now we'll start off with the net income as provided. That's 6 million. I-adjust na naman natin to. Okay? So usually, dun ka talaga muna nag-uumpisa eh. Tapos i-adjust mo and then account for the rest. Kasi dito yung critical. Dito yung usually nagkakaroon ng error talaga. So 6 million, we will still account for the under depreciation, no? Because always, pag nagde-depreciate hindi naman nila ina-adjust yun eh. So, pag nagde-depreciate sila, kulang hanggang sa useful life niya. So, hanggat di nila finifix yun, hindi uh, kailangan mo pa rin i-account. Okay? So, that again was 250, same lang. 1 year naman yung lumipas, so we're okay. 250,000. Reduction again. Inventory. So that's 1/4. 500,000 divided by or multiply by 1/4. That's 125. Nabenta na daw eh. So I think na kung hindi mo masyado naintindihan yun, balikan mo yung show ko nung, well, I can demonstrate that again if you want. 125,000 para lang makita mo. So imagine, let 100,000 again in your beginning inventory. Tapos purchases ng 300,000. Tapos EI and then cost of goods sold. The reason why ina-adjust natin yan ng pa-minus. Okay, ending inventories 400 I think was the number or amount. Ganyan. So sa kanila, 100 plus 300 minus 400. Oh, mali. I think we should adjust. Baliktad. Siguro. Let's do 400 here and then 300 here. Para magkaroon na siya ng income. 100 plus 400 minus 300. So, meron siyang 200 na income. Nagbago na yata yung number. Pero anyway, it's the same thing. So, kung i-correct natin yon would have been what? Yung yung beginning inventory, let's i-correct na lang natin lahat, no? 500. Okay. So, plus ano dito? Kunwari, i-correct natin. That's 600. Siguro nga 700 yung kanina. Anyway, no problem. Walang problema dyan. It will be 600. This one, yung ending inventory, that's 1/4. I think hindi na. Mali ako. 125, di ba? Natira sa ending inventory. So we would adjust this by 125. Kasi meron daw natira, di ba? Yung 1/4 last year, 500,000 times 1/4, that's 1/4. So i-adjust natin. Hindi naman nila in-account yun eh. So tapos dito, 300,000 pa rin. So kasi nga, nabenta na. That would look like this. So this one is 225. Right? Kasi nga, in-adjust natin. Alright? So, 400,000. Deduct. C. Tingnan mo kung ano mangyayari sa ending ay sa COGS natin. Plus 400,000 minus 300,000. So, that's 325. Okay? See the difference? Ito dapat ang i-deduct nila eh. Ito dapat 325 eh. So that's why yung income nila is overstated by 125. Ito kasi yung ginawa nila, ginamit nilang COGS. Alright? So, ayun. Sigurahin ko na okay. I think I can continue without making buradat. Alright. Wait lang. Na-account na ba natin lahat? I think we have to make buradis na lang. Okay. Para malagyan ko lang ng label. This is under depreciation. Depreciation. This is for the inventory. So yung COGS effect, no? Let's just say COGS effect. So inventory. Okay, now we still have to account for the other transactions, no? 400. 1.4. Now this one is an upstream sale. So may binenta or binili ni binenta ni DPYH papunta kay Diskaya na 1.4 million na machinery. So meron gain na 400. Now, ang concern naman natin pag ganitong intercompany or related party transactions, no? Ang concern natin is yung gain kasi hindi naman siya talaga gain. So parang binayad mo sa company na nandun ka rin na may-ari. Parang ganun yung effect. So um, ang concern natin is this amount. Okay? So what we do is we remove or deduct it from the net income kasi nga hindi naman siya totoong income, di ba? So that's 400,000. All right. Okay. So parang hindi naman siya true na gain or not a real gain. So that's why we deduct it. However, unti-unti natin siyang ibabalik sa atin in the form of like kasi parang 'di ba? Parang paano ba explain to? Parang binigay mo sa investee yung 400,000 which is uh, parang nilagay nila doon sa gain, nilagay nila sa nandito sa income na yan. Parang ang gagawin natin is i-deduct natin, 'di ba? So not to consider yung actual gain there. Pero eventually, inoonti-onti natin ibabalik sa atin kasi nga sa atin din 'yun, 'di ba? 400,000 sa atin din 'yon. So, onti-onting nilang ibabalik sa atin kasi tayo na yung magde-depreciate. That's why pag nag-depreciate tayo all throughout the entire life na natitira pa, which is 4 years, onti-onti nating ibabalik sa atin 'yon. Okay? That's why a-account tayo na kasi may 1 year nang lumipas. That's why parang ang sinusulat ng ibang books realized gain. Parang gano'n. So I don't know kung bakit gano'n pero that's the rationale, no? Parang ibinabalik natin sa atin yung pera. Um, parang i-defer lang natin, imbes na ibalik natin agad sa atin, by recognizing the income again, parang kung kukunin na natin yung income dito, parang ganun, pwede naman yun, pero the standard does not allow. So, ang ibig sabihin is, i-defer natin all throughout the life na natitira pa, which is 4 years. So, magre-recognize tayo dito ng 100,000 na, well, realized gain, sabihin na natin. That's what the book says, no? Gain from the machinery. Parang through depreciation na babalik sa atin pa unti-unti, no? So this one, not through. I'm not labeling these guys as the this is like parang exam attack naman tong pinag-uusapan natin. So we're not concerned about the formality, hindi naman. This is not presentation. So this is for the na lang, label ko na lang, this is for the machinery. Machinery gain. Na-explain ko naman na kung bakit dineduct. So yan. Another is we have purchased inventories amounting to 900 of which had a cost of 600. Another, pag mga intercompany transaction, we're concerned about the gain, yung gain. So tandaan mo yun, pag intercompany, gain. Pagka undervaluation, we recognize the effect of the undervaluation. Pero dito, it's the gain na we're concerned about. Para may structure mo yung pagsosolve. So 300,000, that's 900K minus 600K. That's 300K of gain, no? Na ni-recognize nila. That's part of this one. Dito yan, sa loob niyan. Okay. So 300, ilan ang nasold? remain unsold. 1/3 of the inventories remain unsold. So we're concerned about the sold. Same effect, ganun din yung kanina. Same effect. Sa COGS din yung effect niya. So dun tayo sa sold part, no? So that will be how much? 200,000. Um, by the way, in effect is ito yung ano no, ito is parang net effect niya is 300,000. So kung alam mo na yung effect niya, you can net it. Iagad mo na siyang 300,000 effect. So this one naman, wait, parang may mali. Let's remove para ma-structure mo lang yung paggana nung effect niya. No? Let's remove the actual gain muna. Let's remove the actual gain. Or the gain that was considered there. So not an actual gain. Let's remove it. Inventory gain. So i-cross out natin, i-deduct natin. Now, yung 200,000 kasi nga nabenta naman na. So we can recognize the gain through the sale to third party. So this is actually 200,000 plus. Pa-plus siya. So in effect, yung COGS naman nung unsold portion ang nagkaroon ng effect dito. So net effect niya is 100,000. We recognize that by the time na mabenta siya. So since nabenta na yung 2/3, we can recognize 200,000 naman here. So in effect, 100,000, yun yung natira nandun sa ending inventory na hindi pa nabebenta. So we cannot recognize gain on that part. Okay. So I think we're good. So total mo lang siya. So realized gain, inventory, intercompany. These are all intercompany. Lagyan ko na lang ng label. This is naman the undervaluation. Okay. So 6 million minus 250,000 minus 125,000 minus 400,000 plus 100,000 minus 300,000 plus 200,000. Oops, parang mali. Learning the zeros. Alright, there you go. So meron tayong 5,225,225 na adjusted income. Okay? Now we multiply that by 40%. We get 2,090 share net income. So how much is the carrying amount? Not this one. How much is share net income? 2,090. How much is the carrying amount? So we just have to add here yung carrying amount. 88, this one. 8850 less dividend 1.5. 1.5 million times 40% dividend. This one is CA in 2025. Okay, so that's 1.5 times 0.4, 600,000. 90 plus 85 minus 600, 10340. This is the carrying amount in 2026. Okay, all right. So do we have it? 10,340 letter B, 2090, 10,340. Okay, meron pang last part guys. Nasagasaan na natin yung intercompany. Intercompany. So try naman natin to, disposal. Okay, same problem. Parang series lang siya. So on July 1, 2027, this Maya company sold three-fourths of the investment for 9 million. The machinery was resold to third party and the rest of the inventories acquired from DPYH was sold to third party. Alright? Yung inventories wala na. So yung nandun natitira sa ending inventory last year, i-account naman natin as gain right now. I, i parang i-reinstate natin, parang ganun. Anyway, sorry for the word. Anyway, so account muna tayo. I-update muna natin, no? I-update muna natin yung carrying amount. Okay? So i-account natin yung mga pagbabago. Kasi dito sabi niya July. So take note of this. This is July. So the mid-year siya, no? Hindi siya end of year. So in terms of the share net income, dun lang sa covered part, dun lang sa may coverage pa tayo or may um, significant influence pa tayo. Mas mahirap nga yung mga part na like say April, mga ganun. Which is a good thing kasi July 1 to. So divide by 2 lang tayo. Divided by 2 lang tayo. Okay. So sorry guys, medyo maliit pala siya kanina. I hope you can see it now. So then we start sa net income pa rin. Ito yung i-adjust natin, no? 10,340. Okay. So we start from the net income pa rin, 400,000, 4 million. Yan yung net income. So how do we adjust this? Actually, kunin na natin. Let's try naman yung other way to compute the net income, no? Kunin na natin, divide muna na. No, I think we should divide muna sa 2 or multiply natin sa 6/12 to represent yung 6 months lang. Kasi dyan lang tayo may pakialam. So, 4 million. Oh, kinalko ko pa talaga. 2 million. So, 2 million, dyan lang tayo may pakialam, no? Now, how do we do that? So, regarding dun sa mga adjustments natin, of course, 6/12 din yun. So, balikan lang natin yung 6/12. Itong mga adjustment na to. Unang-una, as I've mentioned a while ago, yung under depreciation will continue to exist hanggat nandyan pa tayo. Ngayon, mawawala na tayo ng significant influence. So, hanggang doon lang yung depreciation niya. So, that's 250 divided by 2. 200, oh, sorry. That's 125. Again, reduction pa rin as always. Ngayon naman, yung Dogs effect in sold, wala na yan. Wala na yan. Naubos na yung inventory nung ang undervalued na inventory. So, okay na tayo dyan. Okay na tayo dito. Ito lang yung in-account natin, which is half lang, 6/12. Representing the months covered, no? So, dun sa machinery, ano ba sabi dun sa machinery? The machinery was resold to third party and dun muna tayo sa machinery, no? Sa machinery, um, dun sa building, okay, ito yung building. Ito yung undervaluation. Okay. Dun sa machinery naman guys, pwede na natin, 'di ba kanina napag-usapan natin is slowly ibabalik natin sa atin yung gain na binayaran natin doon sa investee, 'di ba? So, since ibebenta naman natin kung may gain man siya na for how much, that's our concern already. Ngayon lang, ang i-account lang natin is yung portion na gain na recorded dun sa books ni investee. So, that was, let's go back. 400, 100 na yung na dumaan, no? 100 na yung na-recognize natin as gain or parang binalik natin sa atin, di ba? So may 300 pa. Yung 300, ito, yung portion dito kasi dinidak natin, di ba? Dinidak natin lahat. 100 lang yung kinuha natin because dumaan yung isang taon. Ngayon, hindi man dumaan yung isang buong taon, pero sinabi niya naman dito na nabenta na. Nabenta na yung machinery sa ibang tao. So, we can now recognize yung buong gain. And or yung may ibabalik na lang na, I hope I'm making sense, no? Ibinabalik na lang natin sa atin yung hindi naman totoong gain. Binigay natin yung pera na 600 or 400 na gain para sa kanila. Sumobra tayo ng bayad. So, ibabalik na natin sa atin. Alright? Hope I'm making sense. Okay, that's plus 300. What else? Yung realized gain naman dun sa portion ng realized gain machinery. Ito naman realized gain on sold inventory. Mas marami pang ganitong may encounter sa intercompany transactions under AFAR, no? So 100,000 ito. Again, this is the 1/3 na natira sa ending inventory last year. Nabenta naman na, we don't necessarily have to account for pag sa mga mga inventory pala, hindi na ina-account yung months, especially pag nabenta na, yun lang yung concern mo eh. So, ang mga lang, depreciation, yan, doon tayo may concern sa mga months. So, again, this is 6/12. Baka hindi mo napansin. Okay. 300 machinery. Basta nabenta na sa labas, we can recognize the entire, yung natitira pa ng gain. Okay? So, what else? Mukhang na-account naman na natin lahat. Alright? Ready? Okay. So, 2 million minus 125 plus 300 plus 100. 2275. Alright? Ito yung adjusted income now. Then we multiply by 40%. 910. Yan yung share in net income. Okay. Alright, now what else? Kung mapapansin mo, meron ditong dividend na 500 na nakalagay, no? Why? Do we have to account? No. Why? Kasi nakalagay din dito in December of 2027. By that time, hindi na tayo may-ari niyan. Again, I forgot to mention, no, yung 4 million pala dito na nakalagay is and the company also declared dividends of this is declared dividends by the end of the year. Income for the year. Kasi yan na pala nakalagay. Income for the year. So kung sinabi niya, let's say yung problem sinabi niya, income for the first 6 months is 4 million. Hindi mo na isi 6 by 12. Hindi mo na to gagawin. Kasi nakalagay kasi DPYH income for the year was 4 million. So, kailangan mo siyang hatiin kasi ang may pakialam ka lang doon sa 2 million lang. Yung dividend naman is declared at the end of the year, so hindi na tayo significant influence by that time kasi July tayo nagbenta. You have to 3/4 eh. 3/4 of 4, that's 30. So 30,000 shares yung nabenta. That's 30,000 shares of the original 40,000 ang nabenta. So 10 na lang natitira. 10,000 shares na lang ang natitira moving forward, no? Anyway, so kaya hindi natin in-account not unless kung sinabi na yung dividends was declared before the sale, parang gano'n. So meron pa tayong nandun pa tayo sa libro. Pwede 'yun, pwede. Pwede nating pakialaman yung dividends na yan. Anyway, let's move on. I-update natin, add natin yung 10340 CA in 2026. So yan lang yung pwede nating idagdag. 10,340 plus 910. May tinatanong ba? How much is the carrying amount of before the sale? Before the sale, so that would be 11,250,000. CA in July 1, 2027 prior to sale. Okay. 11,250. That's it. How much is the investment income reported in P&L? Okay. All right. Investment income, that would be 910. Share in net income. What else? This one, hindi to mga ina-account to mga realized gain na to. These are only adjustments, no? So, pag nakikita mo na realized gain, they're not part of what is to be reported in the P&L, no? Okay, I hope that's clear. You know what? Meron tayong dividend. Why? Because yung 10,000 shares natin, nag-earn siya. No, actually no. Wait. Yes, correct. Meron tayong dividend. 10,000 shares, 500. So that's 10%, no? 10%. That's 500,000. 50. Okay, so we can add that here. Dividends. Kasi kikita na lang tayo through dividend dun sa 10% na natitira natin, no? 10% left holdings, no? Or shares. What else? Fair value gain. Actually, may fair value gain, pero the problem is, sabi niya kasi dito, the retained investments was 310. So 310 multiplied by 10,000, that's 3.1 million, no? 3.1 million. Wait lang, guys, I'm sorry. We should have mali tayo ng how much is the carrying amount? Okay, anyway, let me just continue muna. I-account natin mamaya yung sorry, nakakalimutan ko na. I-account muna natin yung pagbenta mamaya. Dun sa gain, 3.1, tuloy ko lang to, 3.1 million. So, magkano ba yung dati niyang I think pakikita natin dito mamaya yung carrying amount. So, itanggalin ko muna to guys. 11,250 multiply natin by 3/4. Magbebenta pala tayo, nakalimutan ko. 1 hour na guys. 11,250 times 2 muna lang to. Times 3/4. 843,750. 843,750 ang, wait lang, 843,700 pala. 8,437. Yan yung binenta, no? Sold. For how much? 9 million. Ganto ko na lang. Ang 8,437. 562, 500 ang gain. Kaya pala hinahanap ko yung gain kanina. Gain on sale. Okay? This is the proceeds. Okay? So, ano pa? Yung natitira. Ano? 437, yung 1/4. That's 11,250 times 1/4. Okay. 2,812, 12,500. Tapos 3 million na siya ngayon, no? Kasi 310 per share na eh. Alright? Okay. May 287,500 na fair value change. Ang problema, this will not be accounted sa P&L, no? Ito kasi, nakalagay dito, the fair value of the retained investment here was 310 per share and is to be held as FVOCI. So, ma-account lang siya sa other comprehensive income. Ang tanong kasi is, how much is the income reported in P&L? So, hindi siya kasama sa i-report natin sa P&L in OCI. So, minsan nami-miss natin yon, nami-miss out natin yung details na yun. So, ina-account natin. Na-account natin as gain, pero hindi pala siya dapat. So, careful guys, FVOCI. Alright. So, there. So, yung mga gain lang, this one, 562, 500 gain on sale. We also have the share in net income that will be part of P&L. Share in net income. What else? Again, hindi ito kasama ha. What else? Yung dividend, guys. This will be part of P&L. Okay. Plus 50,000. We have 1,522,500. P&L. Ayun. We have it. Okay. So yun guys, medyo nadaanan na natin yung step. Tapos, step acquisition. Tapos yung may fair value valuation, may goodwill din tayo. Tapos meron ding intercompany, which is part and halos ang daan lahat natin ng scenarios ng investment in associates. Tapos meron ding binenta yung intercompany, meron din ganon, meron din nagbenta ng shares, so eventually lost yung significant influence siya, so naging normal na lang siya na FVOCI investment in this case. So if it were FBPL yung reclassification from equity, this 287,500 fair value change would have been part of the P&L, no? So, yun lang. Yun lang guys. That's 1 hour. And I hope nakashare tayo. Yun lang. Good luck. CPA